Hey Drew, you killed this shit. Drew, you killed this shit.
Welcome back, everybody. We're back. Another episode in the Four Corners of Wrestling. I am your host, Marshall, Mr. Soul Man Simmons. Before we get started, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe. Share this podcast. This is a 613 Faye production. What's up, fellas? We got our fellas out there. What's happening, y'all? Y'all hear me?
What up?
What's up, man?
What up?
What's going on? Quavo out Silver Spring by way of DC in the blue corner. What's up, dog?
Oh, always ready.
My man Jay Will out Landover by way of Flair Country. Woo! North Carolina.
Woo!
What's
up, y'all? Good to hear. Good to see y'all. Good to be back. Let's get into it today.
Let's get it, baby. It didn't last, but not least, Mr. PipeBomb in the black corner, Colin from DC. What's happening, dog?
Yes, sir. What's up, man? How's it going?
Oh, man, I'm good, baby. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? New president in office. You know what I'm saying? Martin Luther King week. You know what I'm saying? It was pretty good, man. Another day above ground is a good day, you know?
Yes, sir.
So,
yes, sir.
With that being said, we got a lot to get into. Long week of wrestling, big week of wrestling. Coming up, we had Raw. Y'all know about Raw. Started off with a great tribute to the great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Then we got a promo, epic from Randy Orton. Had some Goldberg stuff, some Flair, Lacey stuff. And we got into some action, finally. Charlotte Flair versus Peyton Royce. Then you had Xavier Woods versus Mace of Retribution. Then we had Mandy Rose with Dana Brooke in her corner versus Shayna Baszler with Nia Jax sexy self in her corner. Then we had Ricochet versus AJ Styles with Almost. Then we had Miz and Morrison do their little thing, which that was funny to me. Then we had the Hurt Business versus Lucha House Party. And then we had Jeff Hardy versus Jake and Riker with Elias. And for our main event, we had the women's champion Asuka versus Alexa Bliss. So we're gonna go around the square circle and get everybody's thoughts on the show. We had some good moments, had some what the fuck moments. Yeah. What y'all think out there? Colin from DC, what you think about Raw?
I thought the show was okay. Kind of to what you said, Marshall. There was some good moments. There were some what the hell moments. It was an okay show. It was like right in the middle. Start off at the top. Martin Luther King there, the tribute to Martin Luther King. Vince McMahon sure loves himself some Martin Luther King, almost as much as he loves calling John Cena a nigga. So I feel like it's just patronizing. Every time I see the WWE put up something for Martin Luther King, I just feel like it's patronizing. And I'm not gonna get all political, but I don't like it. I just don't like it. I think it's hypocritical, but it's whatever. Masked Randy Orton is scary. He was already sadistic, but now he just is coming across as like a damn serial killer. So it's very intriguing to see, what he's gonna do in the Royal Rumble. But yeah, Orton always gave me an unsettling feeling, and now he's just, I don't know, he's something more. So that's an interesting thing to watch. Bobby Lashley should be world champion. That's it. Period. That's the entire statement. He's doing some of the best work of his career, and they're actually portraying him the right way. Matt Riddle is almost 40, and he's still acting like Rob Van Dam from 2006. He needs to cut that. I don't like it. I don't like that shit.
Hey, that promo they did together was some bullshit. Did you see that?
Right. What is that? It's crazy.
That stomp was like a mile away. Like, really?
Right.
You want us to believe that you stepped on his foot? Like, get the fuck out of here.
It's nonsense. It's just pure nonsense. Retribution was picking on Ricochet for weeks, trying to get him to join them. He barely beat I think it was Ali like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and then that's just it. They just moved on to bullying Xavier. The whole gimmick was supposed to be, you're gonna join us, you're gonna keep getting this ass whooping, you're gonna keep catching these hands until you finally give in. He barely wins one match, and now that's it. They just move on. Retribution needs to be done. It's ridiculous. Ricochet had a great match with AJ Styles, with the fact that if Ricochet were to beat AJ, he would be in the Rumble. I think that's some bullshit, because you got other people like, nobody's like Otis, who can just be like, I'm in the Royal Rumble, and everybody's like all right with it. But Ricochet was a former NXT North American champion. He's a former United States champion, and he's got to beat somebody to potentially earn the right to get into the Royal Rumble. That shit don't make sense to me. However, the match was great. That slingshot off the ropes into the Styles Clash was nasty. And then, last but not least, Alexa Bliss kind of pretty much squashed Asuka. And she obviously got some shots in. Asuka got some shots in, but for the most part, she got her. She just got her out of there. And it makes me mad. If you think about it, let me get this straight. Asuka has shown no fear in her entire undefeated run in NXT. No fear in her entire main event run. She wasn't afraid of Nia Jax, Becky Lynch, Charlotte, Shayna Baszler, anyone. This woman slapped Ronda Rousey's hand away during Rousey's debut at the Royal Rumble. But now she's scared of Alexa Bliss because she turned into an evil murder clown. Nah, no thanks. I'm good. I'm done. That's bullshit. That's bullshit.
Right.
So
right.
That's been my take on Raw.
Like, oh my God, like, so y'all gonna give us a pre-recorded bullshit, Joe? Like, come on, man. I love Asuka. In my opinion, I think she deserves better. That was some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, because of that, y'all could end it off with the fucking dirt sheet. You know what I'm saying? Gilbert got that joke the way y'all did my boo Asuka out there like that. That was terrible. Jay Will, what was your thoughts on Raw?
So I thought Raw was okay this week. It's definitely been better. This week was definitely better than previous weeks. I will say though, Dirt Sheet, that whole segment, absolutely hilarious. I enjoyed every fucking second of it.
God bless Gilbert. God bless Gilbert.
The shit is just hilarious. You see Gilbert coming out, and then there's dudes holding the sparklers in his hand, and their hand is literally just two niggas, and then they got a dude come out with a fire extinguisher.
Oh, I've always loved this interest, dog. I cry every time I see that joke.
That is 100% like one of the funniest moments I've seen in a while on WWE. And it was like, it was a good callback to the old days with having Gilbert come out. Hilarious, thoroughly enjoyed that segment. Now, I gotta jump to the end because the Alexa Bliss match. Let me just tell you how I appreciate the look that we're getting with Alexa Bliss and Fiend. We're kind of getting a Joker Harley Quinn scenario with the two of them, and I'm enjoying that. I fully honest with biases there. It's honestly because I like the Joker as as a Batman villain. So then him having his Harley Quinn, it's cool to see, and I'm enjoying that. However, with Retribution,
come on,
I'm
man.
good.
Come on, man.
Nah.
I am good on them. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's for me. I think I'm over stables altogether. Like, it's not for me. But let me go back to that Ricochet and AJ Styles match. Hands down, the best match of the night for me. Honestly, the best match of the night. AJ Styles does really great matches. Ricochet, great storytelling for that match. Like Colin said, like you made a great story for it, and it makes sense in a certain way. But with a resume that Ricochet has, I'm not for that. Other than that, like Raw was a decent show. It was okay. I definitely enjoyed it way more than the past few weeks.
Okay. So yeah, they did, I guess, cut down a little bit, but yeah, I guess we all have our opinion. Let me see what Jose got. Jose, what did you think about Raw and Gilbert and
Oh,
Miz and Morrison?
It was a hilarious segment. It was a
You
hilarious
know,
segment.
man.
I don't know what the fans watch wrestling for. I don't know what they watch it for, but I know I watch it for a bunch of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Entertainment is one.
Mm-hmm.
And I love seeing how they can put people together and put them in a sketch and a promo. So bringing Gilbert and then bringing the actor David Krumholtz in and having him as Little Drew and putting that little fight, like it's these are the little funny things that liven up a show. You know what I mean? Because sometimes after seeing match after match, it gets boring. But
Mhm.
that's why I feel like this show, I agree with Jay Will. He's right. The natural one, Jay Will, he's right, bro. This was an improvement on last week's episode. Because this episode, the way they had Orton started off, it gave me
Mhm.
chills. It gave me chills, dude. It gave me
Yeah.
chills. And I was like, okay, they started off with the promo. It's going good. However, that finish, I will tell you though, I don't know. They messed up with Alexa Bliss at the end,
Mhm.
and I don't like agreeing with the pipe bomb. Okay, you know this. You know this, so man. I don't like agreeing with the pipe bomb.
Right.
But unfortunately, I have to agree. That's just it's not believable. Oscar
Right.
is an incredible
Come on.
talent. Okay,
Right. And that little skit with the
incredible talent.
playground. Come on.
I know it just I mean I can understand with all of the things going on with COVID and all of that, their hands are tied, but at the same time, you want to make sure that it's still able to engage the audience in the right way.
Mhm.
And for whatever reason, maybe I overhyped it, or maybe it just doesn't sound believable in my head because I've seen Oscar in other ways. But
Mhm.
yeah, it didn't mesh for me. I don't know. It just fizzled out at the end. But other
Right.
than that, I enjoyed Raw more than I have in the past weeks. The
Mhm.
matches were actually pretty good.
Mhm.
The Alexa and Oscar match was good. I
Mhm.
enjoyed that. It was pretty good. But yeah, that
Right.
ending is just yeah, it wasn't for me. You can hot take
Right.
anyone else in if they want to finish this one, but
Right, like that lecture, I believe it was Connor pointed out. The playground scene, and Oscar's like acting like she's scared of her. I wasn't feeling that. I wasn't feeling the Lashley Riddle promo. It's like, okay, y'all need to do better with that. But we did get, I feel like, a peek into a rivalry that may be coming with Jason Riker and Elias. And we
yes.
did get some more feed into the Flair and Lacey Evans. You know what I mean? So I want to go
Yeah,
to
go for it.
go
Go
ahead.
for it. I know natural one over here already wants to throw a woo. I know it. I sense
But
it.
yeah, I want to get what do you think about that, Jay Will?
So I got to touch back on the Oscar match. So,
Mhm.
like Colin mentioned, it's not making a lot of sense with how Oscar has not been someone to seem fearful of anybody. She takes on any challenge, and she has ferocity in almost every single match that anyone can appreciate. And then with this match, we're seeing some fear in her eyes, and it's like it doesn't make sense for the character. And it's like, okay, we get that at some point there's somebody that someone's going to hit a brick wall with, where they
Mhm.
genuinely feel nervous about. But like, it's not selling for me with that. I will say that like, and this jumps into SmackDown, and I don't want to jump into it, but I'm having a problem with how the WWE is handling Asuka overall, because with someone as her as the champion, and then we get more fanfare and more of you know the WWE hand job towards Charlotte Flair on SmackDown nights. That bothers me. I don't like
Mhm.
how they're handling her.
You don't like that? I mean, I thought you would be, with the whole Flair
I
thing. Why's that?
she's Oscar is the champion. There's
Hmm.
no explanation. The only thing that ever makes sense about this is if Charlotte will eventually become the women's champion. But there's no. Right now, it's not making sense that we have someone who's currently the champion, and you guys are just slowly but surely shitting on her.
Hmm.
Like it's very out in the open to me.
I agree. It
Hmm.
sounds like it's like they're watering her down, bro. I think, and I feel like they did this the same way with Nakamura. Like he came in with a
Hmm.
beautiful pop, but then at the same time, it lost it had like a lackluster kind of vibe to it, if it makes sense.
Hmm. Okay. Colin?
I mean, I think it's kind of like a combination of a bunch of shit's going on right now, and it's kind of like a terrible storm. So first off, the WWE doesn't have a great history with talents that really can't speak English. So Asuka is
Mhm.
learning, but most of her work is done, or communicative work is done through her mannerisms, her dancing or her her eye gestures, or the little things that she does.
Mhm.
But they will not ever, and it could be Vince McMahon, but they will never back a foreigner that can barely speak English, because remember, it's the WWE. You have to be, you have to use your voice. It's not just the
Mhm.
matches. You have to use your voice.
Right,
So
right.
that's the first problem. Obviously, Charlotte, big, tall, beautiful, blonde. I think I called her basically the modern day female Hulk Hogan. So she is the crown jewel of uh, of of the WWE right now. Hell, she might be even the crown jewel of wrestling right now in terms of female wrestling. That's debatable.
Mhm.
But so they're going to be more likely to push her. Um, the Fiend. So again, everything's coming together in terms of a bad storm. To your point about the Fiend or Alexa and this and that, unfortunately, what they're doing in the WWE, quote unquote, the Fiend is the most quote unquote interesting thing right now in the WWE, at least on Raw. Again, that's debatable, but however, that the Fiend's world and all of that, what it encompasses, is bringing everything into it, which is unfortunate. Back in the day with the Undertaker, okay, the Undertaker would fight this person, and then that's basically it, unless he's fighting for the title. Unfortunately, the Fiend is dipping into everybody, and it's kind of like, I don't like the Fiend shit, but basically with us, with Alexa going her way, remember she was all bubbly, and next thing you know, she had that ridiculous transformation. Her dress went from pink to
Right.
black. Her makeup changed. Everything happened. So guess what? Alexa's going after the title. She's grabbing. She's absorbing Asuka into it. The Fiend is absorbing Randy Orton and all this other stuff into it. When
Exactly.
exactly none of that shit was needed, but in order to feed the beast, in order to feed the world of the Fiend, you kind of have to do that. And it's unfortunate because I feel like you shouldn't do that, but the WWE has put so much into the Fiend because they failed Bray Wyatt, so they've had to
Mhm.
now go back and put so much into the Fiend to create this world. It's to the detriment of everybody else. So
Mhm.
you've got Asuka, bless her heart, she's great, she can't speak English. You got
Mhm.
modern day female Hulk Hogan and Charlotte, and then you have to feed the beast, feed the world of the Fiend, and all of that encompasses. So Alexa is Harley Quinn to his Joker.
Mhm.
She's got to do something while the Fiend is gone. Okay, let's put her in the Royal Rumble. Okay, let's have her beat Asuka, and it's unfortunate, really unfortunate.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like how they're doing my boo. Oscar's very talented, but I agree with you with how they do their talent. They do come from overseas, like you said to your point. Look how they did Nakamura. Very talented wrestler, but hopefully they'll do something with him, in the future down the line. Um, how does anybody feel about the direction of this whole Mandy Rose, Dana Brooke with the Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax? I think it's pointless. I don't understand it. I don't know why they're doing it. I think they could be doing something else with the women's division. Like, give them something else. What do y'all think? We'll start with Jose.
Yeah, I mean, I find that the I guess the rivalry that they got going on has started to lose the shine, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know how I am, Soul Man. I enjoy watching Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. And I like how they had their little, like little drama going on through there. But at the same time, it's like, what are you really getting out of these matches? If that makes
Mm-hmm.
sense. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And don't get me wrong, these ladies are definitely putting in work and they're doing good work. But at the same time, are these matches leading to something?
Mm-hmm.
If it's to maybe create a firm stance as maybe Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler as a kick-ass women's tag team, then yeah, I could see that. But I feel like they're busy trying to build up Dana Brooks and Mandy Rose, and I'm like, I mean, I would prefer to see Nia and Shayna.
Mm-hmm.
But I can see that they're kind of like trying to see where the fans are going to lean. But in this scenario, you need to put them in a different light or change the styles of matches. I don't know. It's not engaging me. It's not appealing me, even though I love the talents that are in the match. You get what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But the
Mhm.
matches themselves is just, I don't know, it's missing something.
Okay. Okay. Colin from DC.
So basically, what's happening right now is first off, it's a little bit lazy because they put Mandy and Dana together because they're muscular women, quote unquote good looking muscular women.
Mhm.
That's ridiculous. Mandy has kind of trademark crossover mainstream sex appeal, so they really should try and push her by herself. Dana has come, she's come along. She's better than crap. She- but
Mhm.
but she's still, she's not anything to write home about, but she's better than where she was since way back when. The It looks like they're basically going to break up Baszler and Naya, or at least they're kind of like hint, because Naya's, Shayna's basically just like, all right, I'm in Royal Rumble mode. It's my time. Here we go. And Naya's kind of giving her the side eye, like, you're trying to get rid of me. You think you can do everything by yourself. So who knows? It looks like they're on their way to actually breaking them up, which is crazy because they're one of the actual rare, I guess stitched together combinations that has really, really worked.
That's
Like I said,
work, right?
exactly. Like if you look at somebody like Lacey Evans and Peyton Royce, that's a garbage tag team. If you
Mhm.
look at somebody obviously like Mandy and Dana, that's kind of a garbage tag team. If you look at whatchamacallit, it was just this past thing on SmackDown, Natalia and Tamina, that's a garbage tag team. So it would Shayna and Naya actually worked, but it does look like they're on the cusp of breaking them up. I guess one is jealous and the other, or whatever. Or they're on their because they're going for the Royal Rumble. They're trying to win the Royal Rumble. So jealousy is going to probably take hold. I wouldn't be surprised if Shayna eliminates Naya, and then that just starts the whole breakup.
Mhm.
But it's tough. I mean, there's not the thing is the women's, they don't have a lot of tag teams, so they throw a bunch of people together, and then eventually they're gonna have to break up because they weren't really meant to be. They really were supposed to be singles competitors. Um,
Mhm.
Real talk, Nia Jax or Shayna Baszler should be fighting for the Raw Women's title right now. That's a natural build, But look what happened. They can't really get that right. So yeah,
Mhm.
it's just eventually they're gonna break up. I think they're gonna break up. They're probably gonna break up and fight at WrestleMania. I think that's what's gonna happen.
Okay. 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 But yeah, like I believe like their tag team has always been like that. They're at his, and that's what kind of brought them together. Them always being at his and competition. So like they have that aura that they can break up at any time. Because you're right, they did have a thing for Shayna Baszler, but they totally blew it with that biting stuff. Like, come on, really, guys? So I just want to go around and I want to get once again everybody's favorite match of the night. And we're going to start with you, Jose. What was your favorite match of the night or your favorite moment, real fast?
My favorite moment was the intro for Raw. That just made the whole night for me.
Okay, the Randy promo. Yeah, that was sick. That
Oh
was sick.
yeah,
Jay
come on
Will.
now.
Jay Will, what was your
Man,
favorite moment match of the night?
I'm not gonna lie to you. It's two moments: the Randy intro, and then the
Mhm.
AJ Styles and Ricochet match.
Okay, okay. And Colin from DC, what was your favorite match or intro?
Styles versus Ricochet. That slingshot into the Styles clash was great. Actually, it was pretty crazy because if you watch that match, Styles repeatedly, multiple times, tried to Styles clash Ricochet. He had like 4 or 5 attempts. So for him to finally kind of get Ricochet off balance and then have him bounce back into the Styles clash was excellent storytelling.
Okay, okay. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, that was my favorite match. And of course, that Randy promo, like that had me on the edge of my seat, like, oh snap, this guy's out here playing with fire. Next, we had AEW. All right. Okay, show. We had Hangman Adam Page, Colt Cabana, Alex Reynolds, and John Silver versus the Hybrid 2 and Chaos Project. Then you had some Sting, Darby Allin stuff with Taz. Then you had the Young Bucks and Kenny stuff. Then you had Cody Rhodes versus Peter Avalon. And FTR and Tony Blanchard, they had like a little thing with the Jurassic Express boys in the back. You had John Moxley versus Nick Kamato. And then Top Flight and Macedon versus Private Party with Matt Hardy was the main event. Okay. So going around the square circle, I want to get everybody's thoughts. It snowed in Jacksonville, Sting showed up. So everybody had their coat. What do y'all think about AEW this week? We'll start with you, Jose.
See, I love how you worded that, Marshall. You said what I think about AEW. And I think that for this match, this should be called the Dynamite match because I know that's what we're going over. Dynamite. We're not going over Dark, but to give you a breakdown of Dynamite, it was actually a decent watch. It was, I won't lie, it was work. I won't lie, it was work.
You know, that's why I took that pause in the beginning. Like,
Yeah, it was
but
definitely
bless their
work.
heart.
Okay,
But
but
bless their
bless their
heart.
heart because they got to get a paycheck too. I mean, you can't stop the hustle, right? First, let's get up to Matt Hardy. Okay, um, if you didn't see, he was in there and he did a decent job in that match. I gotta admit, you can still see that Matt has some life in him and he's actually moving at a good pace with these young guys. So it's like, you know what, I enjoyed watching that match a little bit. I did. Cody Rhodes. Oh man, I mean that was entertaining to watch because it's a Cody match, but two, it
Cody.
also had that drama. Um, Dynamite has a way of changing how you look at things. But I will say this, it isn't jam packed with excitement the way that you would get out of Raw and SmackDown. So you do kind of have to pay attention and watch the storylines and see where they're developing just because they're in the early steps. Moxley did a decent job. I can't give him super props, but he did a decent job. Because you got to remember, this was the show dedicated to Negative One's birthday. This is Negative One's birthday celebration. You know what I mean? And that
He's
match.
gonna hit you with a kendo stick. I didn't mention
Oh,
it.
I know, I know, I know. The kind of stuff you would have hoped to have been able to do as a kid,
He
you
said, it
get
was 3
Negative One
days
doing.
ago.
You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. I, you know, I get excited about it because that's the little things. You got to enjoy the little things in life, right? The Inner Circle Tag Team Challenge. I won't lie. Jack Hager, I like watching him move. I actually didn't used to like him as Swagger in Raw, but seeing Hager in a different light, it changes things a little bit. But who really outshined in that match for me was Guevara, because your boy just came from doing a match the day before with or a couple days before on Dark with Australiano. And then he comes here to get another paycheck. So I'm like, oh yeah, Guevara, get that paycheck. Even if you are the jobber in this match, get paid. Get
Hey,
paid.
didn't he make a statement on Dark too that kind of transcended over into AEW? He
So
said, "Hey, I'm a hardest worker out here."
you got to give it to him. He's really trying. He's really trying to put effort, and you can see that he's really trying to stand out with the fans. I know he's pushing it far with calling him a Spanish god, but that'll leave that for another day, right?
If anybody can speak on it, you can, brother.
I can't allow it. I cannot allow it, bro. But yeah, no. And then Jericho. I know Jericho was actually. It wasn't the excitement I expected.
Killed himself.
I know, but
But he responded on Twitter appropriately. So
yeah. There's certain you gotta toe certain lines, but I gotta leave something for the other guys, right? Because I have a feeling they watched this time.
all right, we're gonna go to Jay Will. Fair country. What do you think about AEW this week?
So this week on AEW, Dynamite, I was not interested in it this week. So I got to sit down and watch a couple of the matches, and I thought it was great. Certain spots on the show that was good, especially the Peter Avalon and Dustin Rose match. Great spots, but I did not like the finish.
Cody.
I was not. I mean, sorry, my bad, Cody. I was not. I wasn't. The ending was not. The ending of that match was not good for me. John Moxley. I'm going against the grain. People going to, of course, disagree with me. Boring match. However, promo at the end, good, solid stuff there. The Jericho match, okay, all right. Again, I go back to my statement. Solid spots on that match. Was I overly excited by the match watching it? No, I wasn't. It was not. This week with AEW, it was not a product that I was really bought into. I can't even give it an okay. It was okay. I can't give it that. It had moments, but overall, I was disinterested. I'd rather play Among Us on my phone. Shout out to Tony Cash for that. You know, the video game squad, the Tetris boys. But it's just like AEW this week. Nah, I can't. I'm good on it this week.
Okay. Yeah, there was some spots, you know. I was like, are you kidding me? You know, I had to like walk away. My head was hurting, and then come back, and it's like, you know, Cody was on. Of course, Cody's matches are always entertaining. You know, Cody's going to put in that work. You know, but then you had, you know, the Jurassic Express. And to me, I've never been a fan of the big dinosaur guy. I just can't. You know, I don't know. He might be a nice guy. I know he's intelligent, but I just can't get behind that whole guy wearing the whole dinosaur gimmick, man. Like, that's not for me. Colin from DC, what did you think about Dynamite?
I actually thought Dynamite was okay. You know, at the top you got Hangman Page with the Dark Order versus Jack Evans and three other jobbers. The match had trademark spot monkey stuff, but it was still pretty good. Funny enough, the funny thing enough, even though he's 38 years old, Jack Evans, I think if AEW was around back in like 2006, 2007, Jack Evans, he was really special back in the day. So he was doing some things. He's 185, so it's not like he was too small, but like a Darby Allin, who's trash. But but yeah, Jack Evans back in the day was something special, and it's kind of like, you know, a wrong place, wrong time. The storyline wise, Hangman Page rejecting Dark Order's offer to join them was interesting. After I guess all the stuff that he's gone through with the Elite, I guess, you know, he's kind of like, you know, I can't get back. Exactly. So that's fascinating. I'm interested to see where they would go, because, you know, obviously with them losing Brody, it put a wrench into a lot of their plans for what they were going to do with the Dark Order. So I think it was one of the AEW announcers, I forgot who it was, said Darby Allin has an uncanny physical ability to endure inhuman amounts of punishment. So Darby Allin has an uncanny physical ability to endure inhuman amounts of punishment, which just made me think to myself that he just gets his ass beaten a whole lot. For
Tony Schiavone say that shit?
Yeah, I think so. It was him or the Masked Man. Quavo couldn't tell me what that dude's name is, but long story short, I was like, oh, okay, he gets beat up a lot. I was impressed by that. Sting showed up for a second, and you thought, like, you know, you'd kind of finally find out his interest in Darby Allin, but surprise, surprise, for the 100th time, Taz cut him off. So maybe we'll find out where Sting's interest in Darby is in 2025, because that's how long they're procrastinating and prolonging this bullshit. But the funny thing enough is I'm more interested in a match with Prime Sting and Prime Taz than I'm interested in this Darby Allin Team Taz Sting thing. I'm intrigued by how, you know, what would have happened between a Prime Sting and a Prime Taz. Taz would probably thrown his ass all over the ring, but it's pretty fascinating to think about. Jade Cargill looks like she could be a big star in the wrestling world. I'm very
Jade Cargill.
Yeah, very, very impressed by her. And then to the opposite end of that spectrum is nobody wants to see Cody Rhodes versus Shaq. That shit is stupid. So it's ridiculous. Nobody wants to see Shaq's lumbering ass and Cody Rhodes having to bump for him. It's no point to that. It's a waste of everybody's time.
Yeah, that'll be worse than him. Snoop Dogg was out there, I think.
Exactly.
Tell your truth, bro. Tell that truth. Nobody wants to see that.
Nobody wants to see that shit. It's ridiculous. I thought it was very unusual but interesting that two of the matches with AEW's biggest faces didn't end with them winning with their finishers. So Cody won with a figure four, when normally he has that disaster kick or nightmare kick or the crossroads. And then Moxley usually has that DDT. I forgot what it's called. Quavo can help me out with that. But he ended it with he just choked that dude out. So it was different but interesting. Top Flight and Private Party have a lot of potential, but there was a lot of botches in that match. I don't understand what Quavo's talking about. Matt Hardy looks terrible. He looks stiff. He looks like, I don't know, something looks wrong with him. He looks off. I honestly feel like he needs to retire, especially when you look at him versus the young movement of Private Party or Top Flight. Those boys are all over the place, and Matt looks like he could barely walk around in the ring, let alone, you know, taking bumps. So Matt's, I don't know, he's got to really transition into that manager that manager or that agent role or whatever. It is
Mhm.
fascinating. However, you had Matt being the manager for Top Flight. For Private Party, and then they showed up. They showed up on Impact. But later on that week, I thought that was pretty fascinating how that turned out. And then last but not least, the three-way match between the Inner Circle was good, but that too also had a lot of botches. Jericho needs to take his ass to the gym. It's ridiculous. That gut is definitely slowing him down. And he almost
Too
broke
much of the bubbly.
yeah, a little too much bubbly, a little much too much chicken wings. And he's like he almost broke his neck. So you gotta
Yeah, Jose almost killed himself out there.
right. But to Quavo's point, Sammy Guevara, there's some really special stuff with that guy, and he was bumping all over the place. He was running all over the place, and there's a lot of potential with that guy. So overall, AEW Dynamite wasn't bad. It was I think it was an all right show. It was an all right show.
Okay. Yeah, I think Samuel Guevara, definitely a talent. You could definitely tell he has that young boy swag. My man was in there wrestling with a gold chain on. Like, come on, man. Jay Will, what you got?
So I there's one thing that Colin brought up that really has been resonating with me for quite some time, and AEW is one of my biggest problems with AEW currently is we have talent that shouldn't be there currently. Yes, I'm talking about Sting. Yes, I'm talking about Matt. Yes, I'm talking about Jericho. It's time for retirement, Bucko. This ain't it for y'all right now. Like, pass the torch and let's move on.
Get a
Like,
Legends contract.
I don't want to see a match with Jericho no more. I don't want to see a match with Matt no more. Like it to me, I have that problem that is just persistently just coming back and it's eating away at me. Like let talent who like Darby Allin, who arguably to me is going to be a great competitor in every asset of wrestling now. He has a totally different look. He has a character right now that is benefiting from a push from legends. I need that. I don't need to see Jericho botching moves when he comes out with AEW, when he comes out and slanders and talks so much trash. It is not a good look to say, point out fatal errors and flaws of another company, but then exhibit those same exact flaws on the show that you brought out. Like it doesn't work for me. That does not work.
Yeah, and I agree with that. Sometimes there's a certain point in your life where you got to transition from from wrestler to a maybe manager or advocate or what may have you. Look at Taz. Taz is done. We're not going to see Taz in the ring no more. You know what I mean? So go ahead, take that step back, push the new talent before you hurt your damn self. None of us want to see that. So we're just going to go around. Go ahead.
My bad. I think that Taz right now is handling things the right way, where Taz is more in the sense of cultivating talent versus throwing himself in matches like left and right. That's how a successful passing of the torch should be done.
Bringing them new guys, showcase them off, even if they want to get their shit off. You know what I mean? So going around, was there a moment? What was your favorite moment, if there was one, of the night? One quick time. Jose.
I want to say my most enjoyable moment was the birthday, because I feel like that for me, it's more of a momentous thing. I don't know why you watch wrestling. I don't know why you listen to the podcast, but it's the little things. Like I said, you got to enjoy the little things, and for them to be able to attribute -1 like that honestly was the main reason why I watched the show, and that kept me watching it all the way through. Because I was like, you know what, it's for his birthday. Let me at least give him the time to see how it was set up, and how they did him right for his birthday.
Right. Okay. Colin.
The three-way with the Inner Circle. I thought that was a good match. It highlighted all three teams, and it advanced the storyline. So I think they did a good job with that.
Okay. Jay Will.
Favorite moment of the night was when the cameras faded to black.
Oh man, that's funny. My bad. All right, so transition over right quick. Touch it on Impact. We gotta believe it was Colin that brought it up. The private party Matt Hardy did show up and the number one contenders. You know, we had Kenny Omega over there doing everything. I'm loving the commercials over there with Tony Khan. Didn't really catch, that show this week. Had a lot going on, but I still want to get you guys' thoughts on private parties showing up, being a number one contender. Like, what? Jay Will, start with you.
So caught me by surprise. Um, Still doesn't make sense. It don't make sense. Impact is not hitting any buttons for me. It's not hitting any sort of notes for me to want to buy into anything. I honestly, Hard to Kill was the thing that really got me interested this week. Kenny Omega. Other than that, ah, Impact this week, it's a no for me, dog. It's a
Mm-hmm.
no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kenny Omega coming out and with the Bullet Club thing, that was
Yes.
crazy. Like,
Yes.
somebody wasn't happy about that. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Wow.
overall, that match though, solid
Mm,
match. I thoroughly enjoyed every second of it. They had a quick switch up in the match. Somebody had to take a step out for whatever reason. We'll find out eventually. But
mm-hmm.
solid match, like great spots, great energy. That was one.
Mm-hmm.
That was legit. Might have been one of the best matches I've seen on Impact ever.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy. Quavo.
Impact was definitely a tough watch. I'm not gonna front. It was definitely a tough watch, but had enjoyable moments. The women tag match was actually a good one. I enjoyed it. It wasn't too bad. I think that one had enough action, enough to engage me. The way that they opened with Violent by Design, though, I hate that name, bro. I don't like it. I don't know what it is. It's just a bad look for EY, Doring and Diener. But I did enjoy that they, kept the rivalry going with Rhino. However, I feel like this is something that's starting to lose fizzle too. And I can tell that people are starting to like sway away from seeing it because we're waiting for EY to really like blow up and do something huge. But until that happens, we'll just wait. Um, and a lot of the other matches were pretty good, um, but they really weren't huge to watch. Like Fala, I mean, it was worth watching. Don't get me wrong; it was definitely worth watching, but it's not like top card to watch. Like it's not an A match. I would give it a C at best. I don't like the way that they're putting a lot of these matches together. I find that they could use more substance, or they could use more. What's the word? It could use more storytelling. Having the cowboy there at the end, I enjoy watching the cowboy. I like watching Private Party. And I know that if you watch AEW Dark, you'll see how it kind of lines up because you kind of just see Matt wearing the same suit, and you're like, wait a minute, like, bro, did you even change your suit? You went from one show to the next. Um, you got Tony Khan sitting in the in the seats, and I'm like, okay, now they're trying to set something up. If you're not paying attention and if you're not reading in between the lines, you won't see what's happening. I can tell that they're trying to make the cowboy something serious, and I've
Mhm,
always liked watching the cowboy in Beer Money. So I can see that they're trying to use the cowboy to bring more hardcore, old school Impact fans back,
mhm,
which is a decent play. It's a fair play and it makes sense. It's a logical one. But at the same time, without Bobby Roode, I already like I just stopped watching it because I'm a beer money fan. Um, so if you don't have Rude and the Cowboy together, and then I feel like when they dismantled the team, I just felt like I stopped watching it. It disengaged me. But
mhm,
I'm trying to see what they do with the Cowboy. I'm trying to see, they want to see who is the actual Cowboy, who's gonna get that name, and I'm hoping that the Cowboy proves it and puts on a good match on the next few matches to come, hopefully.
Okay. Okay. Well, they also had a pay-per-view this past weekend. That Hard to Kill joint was out. I
Oh
got to go back and
yes.
watch that. Yeah, because
Oh yeah. If you
I
missed
want
it,
to
it was
catch
worth
that.
it.
Yeah. Okay. That was the Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers with Rick Swan, Chris Sabin, and I think they replaced Moose in the joint, right?
Yeah. Now, if you watch it though, I'm gonna give you a heads up because if you
Mm-hmm.
watch it, the actual pay-per-view, it will be a hard watch. But if you're watching the
Gonna
highlight,
be work.
it's gonna be work, bro. I'm telling you. That's something that they're still working on. But if you watch the
Box
highlights,
Central.
you'll still be able to enjoy it. And trust me, if you see the difference, watch the highlights and then the actual full pay-per-view, you'll be like,
Uh,
oh, I see what Quavo was talking about.
is it, just tell me this so I can get ready. Is it Box Central?
I'd rather
Yeah,
not say it. Like, can I plead the fifth? Can I plead the
I
fifth
was
so bad?
I was going to say I was going to need a drink. I'm probably going to need a whole damn bottle.
Uh,
So I want to touch with my man Colin right quick. Say real quick, real fast. Who's your guy that you think is going to do something with this?
Do something what in Impact?
Yes.
Oh, dude, I don't think I don't know. It really is unfortunate because I don't know if it's with the pandemic or whatever's going on, but it's just everything is just so dead. So
Mhm.
Rich Swann is your world champion. I don't take him seriously, unfortunately. He lost. He lost at the pay-per-view to Kenny Omega and those boys. So apparently they don't. Impact doesn't take him seriously enough to even at least make sure he doesn't get your world champion to not get pinned. The I guess if there was somebody that had some potential is Moose. I'm not too
Mhm.
sure how old he is, but he's definitely a star in a world full of dust. So
Mhm.
Moose is the only one who really catches my eye when I see him. Him and Jordan Grace. Jordan Grace seems like she eventually is going to be make it to the WWE. But for the most part, Moose is the best thing that they got going in my opinion.
Okay. Okay. Jay Will, what do you think? Who has that it factor, for Impact? Like who has it for you? Like they may be something. There's always one out there.
I want to say that there's one. I can't
Mhm.
find it right now. Can't see it. Can't see it right now. Come back to me in a month or two.
I know that's right. Jose, anybody out there that you got your eye on?
See, I hate agreeing with Bottle Rocket over here, man. I hate it, bro. I can't stand it. Cause he's
Mm,
he's right. He's right, man. Moose Inc. is like I don't know how to describe it, but Moose is incredible. He does have that star power. Okay.
okay.
Moose has that star power where I can see him blowing up. And if they utilize him the right way, then yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing him as a champion. I wouldn't mind seeing maybe even the rivalry with him and Rick Swan, seeing how it works out because Moose has potential. I just gotta see how they can develop him the right way, and really make him go past where he's at right now. Because if not, he's just gonna plateau.
Mhm.
But I can see him. I can see him doing big things, man.
Okay. Cool. And we're gonna move on. Close that segment out. Going to move on to the next show. All right, we'll come back to NXT, but we're going to jump to SmackDown Friday nights. And my man, my man Paul Heyman, him and Roman Reigns kicked off the show in the ring with Adam Pearce. And I gotta tell you, Paul Heyman, I'm a Heyman guy. Like I said, he cut the promo of the fucking year. You know what I'm saying? Sami Zayn came out there, his little shtick. All right. And then the night started off with Charlotte Flair and my boo Oscar versus the Wyatt Squad out there with Billy Kay. Then you had my man Cesaro, Swiss Cyborg versus Dolph Ziggler. Then you had Sasha Banks versus Carmella's roadie, Reginald, which, Lord have mercy. We had Big E versus Apollo Crews. Then you had the obstacle course, which had Bayley going up against Bianca Belair. Dominic Mysterio versus King Corbin. And then last night, main event, Friday night's main event, Adam Pearce versus Paul Heyman, which turned into him versus Roman Reigns. So first and foremost, I gotta go to Jay Will. Cause you owe my man an apology, man. Let me hear it, man.
Okay. For the fans who are listening, who remembers our conversation a couple
And
weeks
me.
ago when we had our conversation about best manager,
Yep, and me apologize me too.
I have to apologize. Paul Heyman out the gate showing why he is the best manager in history. In
Yes.
history, legendary promo. When I tell you, if the crowd was there, they would have lost their shit. I was sitting at home. I lost my shit. I couldn't believe my ears as I sat through that show, and I said, damn. I really said Paul Bearer instead of Paul Heyman. So this is my formal apology to all the fans, to everyone on the show, to our producers, and to myself. Paul Heyman out the gate. That hands down one of the best promos. A manager. He said, I'm from New York. I'm whoop your ass.
Whoop your ass.
yo, I never see him acting this way ever in my life. I was shook. Okay, let's move on to the rest of the show. I done got that out the way. SmackDown this week.
Mhm.
I thoroughly enjoyed every second of SmackDown this week. Great start to the show. It was kind of hard to really go down from there, watching it from start to finish. We had a few low moments, but when I say few, I genuinely mean very few. Asuka's match with Charlotte and the tag team match, I again bring back my point. Charlotte is getting way too much fanfare. Yes, I'm from Flair Country. I will say it. I don't think that how it's being handled with Asuka, where she's getting the spotlight. They spent the budget of the show on Charlotte's entrance with the pyro than they did with Asuka. I have a severe problem with that. Cesaro match, good match. Brought back some of the old school moves. The big swing. He held that big swing for like 3 minutes of the match. Like that was a good callback to the old school style of wrestling. I think that the match with that solid match, great finish. Enjoyed the moments with it. Mic work with Cesaro, enjoyable. He has a way of drawing heat that I haven't seen in quite some time. He drew big heat coming out, interrupting. Oh, sorry. Let's not ignore everybody having to walk past Sami Zayn. Yo, that shit is fucking hilarious. And I'm going to jump out there and say this. I'm walking off with this one.
Mm-hmm.
Sasha Banks, best women's wrestler of all time. I'm saying it here. I don't care what nobody got to say. You can fight me. Sasha Banks, hands down, the best women wrestler of all time.
You hear that, Sasha? You hear that, my man Jay Will? He's what? He's for you. He's for you. Colin from DC. What did you think about Friday Night SmackDown? I love Sasha, but that match with that dude, I did not like that. I could have did without that. I love Sasha though. But what did you think?
So Jay Will wants to get this work right now, and
it is Royal Rumble season, man.
And I don't even know why he did who said what he just said, but okay, I will get back to that in a second. To your point, Marshall, Sasha versus Reginald was very interesting. Reginald is very acrobatic, right? It's very acrobatic, very athletic, and he did his job well. And his reward is that his career is basically over. His career is finished. He tapped out to Sasha Banks. That's going to hang on him for the rest of his WWE career. The writers aren't going to take him seriously anymore, and him beating anyone in the future is going to look suspect. He did a great job. He did what he was asked of him. That's great. He's not going to be around a year from now. Like, it's just his career is done. You can repackage him, you can bring him down to NXT, and he could fight in the cruiserweight division. That shit's not going to matter. He forever and a day will be known as the man who tapped out to Sasha Banks. He's done. Sami Zayn is super entertaining. This whole documentary to show his injustices is absolutely great. I love everything that Sami Zayn is doing. Billie Kay is hilarious. She should still be with Peyton Royce. As the Iconics, they were great. But Billie Kay at the time trying to fit in with the Riot Squad has been pretty hilarious over the past couple of weeks. Anytime Baron Corbin's on the screen, I know it's time to use the bathroom. Get that guy the fuck out of my face. I can't stand him. Usually when they do things like competitions or obstacle courses in the WWE, they end up looking ridiculous. However, the Bianca Belair and Bailey, obstacle course thing was done right. It
highlighted carry, Otis on her back.
That's nuts. She's
what?
She's okay. Here we go. So basically, it highlighted what makes Bianca Belair special as an athlete. Her lifting Otis was crazy impressive. That was amazing. She had the funny thing about Bianca Belair is she is literally the epitome of what like Black excellence is. Like, she is like literally something where people like Black people as a whole could like what's the word when you look at somebody and they're an inspiration or I want to be like that
role model.
Thank you. There it is. I don't know what's in my head. A role model. She is a role model for little Black boys and little Black girls to when they want to be a wrestler. That everything about her is perfect. This also elevated and highlighted Bailey as a smart heel that was willing to take shortcuts to win. But definitely elevating Belair to the next level. And Bailey might be one of the 10 best heels in the business, which is crazy to think about compared to where she was a couple of years ago. Getting booed. She didn't want to getting booed because she didn't want to use a kendo stick against Alexa Bliss. So now I said all the lower things, and now I'm coming to Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman are light years above everyone else in the business. That opening statement was ridiculous. I'm from New York. I'll whip your ass. That is the line of the decade. That's the line of the decade. If I was an athlete, right? If I was an athlete and I was in like MMA or boxing and I was talented, I would definitely consider seriously hiring Paul Heyman as my mouthpiece. That man has a mainstream crossover way with words. He's not the best manager. He's one of the greatest mouthpieces of all time. But I still don't think he's one of the best managers. But if you go back to Reigns, and if you really get into the nitty-gritty of this whole thing, because of how unstoppable he was as a face and being the face of the company, I don't think, to put it into Tone and Cash terms, I don't think we've ever had a final boss like this. Like this is the last dude at the end of a big battle, a big fight, an epic adventure. He is the last man you have to get past. Storyline wise, Roman Reigns is the most dangerous character we have ever seen. In theory, this Roman Reigns is more menacing, more methodical, and more manipulative than any character that I can remember. Triple H was the closest thing that we've had to a final boss, and it's still not on this level. Hunter went from DX, where he was vulnerable to getting beat, to the Corporation, where he was vulnerable to getting beat, and then eventually he evolved into the game, but he still would catch losses to a big face every once in a while. That's not this, guys. That is not fucking this. Reigns has beaten everyone when he was a basic one-note character. Now he's a hell of a lot more than that, and that's fucking crazy. He is literally, and I'm deadly serious. Marshall. I'll ask everybody. I'll ask Marshall. I'll ask Quavo. I'll ask Jay Will. I'll ask anybody who will fucking listen. The neighbor down the street. You cannot. That he is pound for pound the most dangerous wrestler I've ever seen. And I'm not talking about in ring. His overall character as a good guy, you couldn't beat him, and he was basic as shit. So what has he become now? My God, what has he become? He's like Thanos level of dangerous. I've never seen that shit before in my entire life. I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. Hollywood Hulk Hogan, all these, they have never been to this level of what a bad guy, a villain, a heel in wrestling can be. And I think that's psychotic. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, definitely crazy. Jose, what's your thoughts on SmackDown?
He's definitely kingpin level status. And
Mhm.
I said this. I know you heard me say it. He's got a projection, guys. Look at where he's projected, and this is why I see him doing possibly things that Brock couldn't do, because Brock, when he had the mic, he was okay. He wasn't great. He wasn't amazing, but he was okay. But Romans now with this, like, I have never seen someone instill such ferocity without even using a lot of words.
Mhm.
And that's what I'm talking. And then he's like the way he told Polly dangerously, like, that's the thing. When you see shades of Polly dangerously, okay, that's the thing. He's Heyman right now. He's
Mhm.
he's got a brand. He's like a stock. He has
Mhm.
certain things he has to follow. And you've seen this before with Punk, and how they had their little play, but this time, this SmackDown, the way they did it, oh my. I was like, son, if it ever made me want to go to New York, I was like, I need to drive up there right now, bro. Just to feel like that, just to talk like Paulie again, bro. Cause it was like, what? He was like, all right, here. He's talking bad about the chief. Hold on.
Mhm.
Hold on, wait. I didn't even realize that, chief. Thank you for letting me know he's talking bad about us. Let me give you your title back. Let me give you your
You know what
championship
I'm
back.
saying?
Cause let me
You know
put
what I'm
this,
saying?
let me put this jabroni in his place.
All right, it's
And
Rudy too.
oh my
This
goodness.
bitch.
I was
No, let
like,
me put this
let me,
bitch because
he
that's
was
what he
like, let me,
said. Yo,
he
he
was
like,
like, sorry, I wasn't doing my job. Let me do my job as a man and put him in his place. Because he doesn't even,
right.
the little things. Like I said, it's the little things, right? But to
Mhm.
see Paul do that and be like, man, Heyman, goodness gracious, like I didn't expect SmackDown to open like this.
Yeah, it took me back. Yeah, it took me back in the day when my man had the cell phone. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes. And then the way
yeah.
he's berating Adam Pierce, I'm like, oh, I was like, Adam Pierce, if you ever had a chance of having a career as a wrestler, Paulie just made you look like shit, bro. I'm sorry.
Right, right. But look, then at the end, right, he talking all that smack. Then he walking down to the ring, still with his three-piece suit on, taping his hands up, and then falls over at the steps. I'm like, oh, here we go. Oh, he's a fucking genius. Here we
I'm
go.
telling you, man, it's the funny, it's like I said, the little things. Sami Zayn handcuffing himself, and being there
Right.
for, like, everybody's walking past him, like the natural one said. It's hilarious because you don't expect him to uncuff himself,
Mhm.
but it's gonna
You know
happen.
it's coming. Right.
You
You
know
know
it's
it's
coming. You
coming.
just don't know where, right? But then when he does it, and you're like, wow, okay,
There you
Zayn. Like,
go.
me at first, I was like, I'm done with Zayn. I honestly was. I was done with Zayn. But to see him do something so out of the box like this, I was like, yeah, okay, it's in your wheelhouse, but you made
Mhm.
it work in this scenario, and it worked
Mhm.
hilariously. So it was entertaining. It made me like it. Now, I told you this, bro. I don't like it. I hate agreeing with PipeBomb. I can't. But Reggie, I'm telling you, bro. I don't know how much they paid you for that match. I hope it was worth it. I hope it was worth it. Cause honestly, he had skills, man. He had
Yeah.
speed. You saw him keeping up with Sasha Banks.
Mhm.
You saw him. And see, that's the thing. The way
But the
they.
only thing I didn't like, I don't mean to cut you off and let you go
Mhm.
again. The only thing I didn't like, you could see them talking, like you could see her spotting him the matches, and his stuff was delayed. You know what I mean? So it was like it was
Exactly.
hard to know, especially knowing the athlete that Sasha is. It was like hard because she was walking him through that match step by step. Yeah, he
And,
was doing his thing, but she was walking him through that match.
exactly. And I was about to say that, like, you could see that she had to do extra work
Hmm.
to make it look good.
Hmm.
And when you have to do that as a wrestler for another wrestler, it's like, okay, who's carrying a lot of the weight here? Yeah, he may have a lot of talent, but I'm sorry, bro. It is done for you. You're not gonna get any respect. You tapped out to Banks, bro. Come on
Hmm.
now.
Hmm.
I
It made
mean,
her look that much good, better, I should say.
hmm and then
You
yeah,
know.
no, but Cruz, Big E, and then having Zayn pop out of nowhere was hilarious. I like that actual the promo too. Oh my gosh, I blank out with his name. Oh my gosh, Damian Wayne's fake Diddy. I
Damn,
forget
man.
his name. What's his name? You know
Oh,
who
you
it is.
talking about Montez Ford?
Yes.
He said fake Diddy.
Look, I mean,
Oh,
I
snap.
like I like the
Y'all just want to
promo. I
kick
like their
your ass.
segment. Don't get me wrong. I like their promo. I like their segment. But I just feel like they could have done more with their body language. However,
Mhm,
Belair,
mhm,
I'm telling you, if you haven't seen her yet as a star that is can do a lot, this was that moment for you to see her versatility, and to see how good she is, but also having Bailey be that bad guy to accentuate that, it made it look so good. I was impressed by it. Her carrying Otis, I was like, see, that's what I'm talking about. You knew they were
mhm,
gonna put a big guy to make it impossible for her, and she was still gonna power through.
mhm.
It was hilarious, but at the end of Raw, I mean, sorry, at the end of SmackDown, I don't think they. I mean, I like Rey Mysterio. I like his son. Okay.
Mhm.
Corbin, he's decent. But at the same time, it you know, the feud is just starting to water down. It's starting to water down.
Mhm.
Although the kid can actually sell, he's good, he's decent.
Mhm.
He can sell. He can sell with Corbin too. But I just feel like something was off there. Something was off there in the match. I don't know what it was, but something was off. But it overall it was an okay match.
Okay.
But yeah,
Okay.
SmackDown was entertaining. If you didn't watch it, bro, you need to go watch it. Definitely go watch it.
Okay. Definitely was entertaining. Hit Jay Will right quick and then we'll move on. Jay Will.
So I really have to highlight something that I wanted to talk about with Biggie and Apollo Crews. Let me just tell you, as much as I dislike Big E's half bowl cut, half fade, half mohawk, that's three halves. Doesn't none of his haircut makes sense. But him and Apollo Crews, they put on a solid match there. I mean, it was such good strength, great spots, great storytelling between the two of them overall. And when I say that, you could pay, I would pay to watch matches of just those two. They are showing like how black talent in WWE is really blossoming over time. We came
Mhm.
from bullshit ass Ahmed Johnson to people like them and Kofi Kingston. It's a shining achievement to see good wrestlers like that. And I must say, um, back to what Colin said with Bailey, amazing heel work. I love it. She is, if you honestly take a good look at it, she is nothing but a Karen. Ding dong. Are you serious? That is 100% a Karen in wrestling against a black person. You can't sit here and tell me that you can't find a connection like that.
Yeah, I like that ding dong shit. That's funny. Colin.
Yeah, Bailey's been great. I mean, I don't think we've never given her the credit that she deserves, but man, she's great. I mean, like I said, to see where she's been at from way back when to what she is now, I didn't see it
Mhm.
coming. With her little half ponytail or side ponytail. Um, she's just everything she does, is just gold right now. Um,
Mhm.
Big E, his three halves haircut, it does blow me. I'm still, and I probably didn't explain myself all that well the last time we talked about it. But the thing is, he does need to evolve. Those
Mhm.
gyrations and then all that extra stuff to get where he needs to go. He needs to become more than what he is. So those
Mhm.
gyrations and maybe, maybe I don't want to go there, but I'm gonna kind of I'll peek it out a little bit. I think
Mhm.
he did those things in order to have more mainstream appeal, in order to get over a little bit more with white people to maybe see him as not as much of an intimidating black man. So okay, let me gyrate and let me act all silly and like Kofi's twerking and they're throwing out pancakes, so they don't come across as intimidating. They just come across as playful and they kind of kowtow to certain demographics and certain people.
Mhm.
However, now you have to become more than that if you're supposed to be quote unquote you're the future. all these other dudes won the IC title, but they didn't have fireworks going off. So they're trying to anoint Biggie as the future. Okay, now you have to be more than that because you can't be gyrating and doing a bunch of nonsense and having your terrible haircut main eventing WrestleManias. That shit doesn't work. You got to become more. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Okay. Yeah, I'm loving Bailey. Just going back to Bailey, I'm loving this new persona she got because the old Bailey, I don't know if y'all ever seen the oddities. That old Bailey with the ponytail on the side of her head had me thinking about the little daughter with the dick coming out of her side of her head on the oddity. So I wasn't liking that shit. And then the little balloon people, I wasn't liking that. So seeing this Bailey, I'm loving it. And I totally agree 100% what you call it on Biggie. 100%. So real fast, want to go around. We went down the whole week. Give me you guys top show real fast. What was the top show of the week? Jose Quavo, go.
Top definitely has to be SmackDown.
Okay.
They did it. They did it this week.
Okay. Colin.
Impact. No, I mean, wait, sorry. SmackDown.
Okay. And Jay Will.
SmackDown. Not a question.
SmackDown. Hopefully I have an answer.
SmackDown.
Oh,
not even a
okay.
question.
I'm
SmackDown,
sorry.
not even a question.
Okay, so SmackDown it is. So moving on to the next topic. We're going to talk about somebody that's been talking big smack. And it's a little rivalry that's going on outside of the ring. We're talking about this Mark Henry Ryback thing. Now, I don't know if y'all aware, for those of y'all listening that don't know, Ryback is a old wrestler from WWE, been out there for a while. And when he left WWE, just started trashing them. You guys can, share some info as we go along. But it's just trashing WWE, trashing the wrestlers, trashing, the product, calling the championship props, and it's not this and it's that. Went at Mark Henry. Went for Mark Henry's neck. And Mark Henry clapped back. You want these hands in these streets? You can get these hands in these streets, and there's a lot of people that want to give you these hands in these streets. So I want to go around the square circle right quick, and well, not right quick. We're gonna talk about this right now. I want to know you guys' thoughts on this whole Ryback, having issues and coming at Mark Henry and just the whole thing overall. What do y'all think? Jay Will, what do you think?
So I think people are getting very comfortable with like just throwing dirt, talking so much shit on the entity of the WWE, which I understand people's feelings. We all have had that moment where we were just like, yo, this shit is stupid. Like, why the fuck is shit being happening this way? But the picking at Mark Henry was the one down, just like, that's not even making sense, bro. Like, pick someone else. Like, seriously, pick somebody else. Nah, bro. Like, if you have feelings, cool. I understand it. But with Mark Henry, bro, no thanks. I'm good on it.
So he don't want that smoke. So you call him a fat guy and say he was napping backstage and a gorilla. It was like, damn, dude, like, who are you to put his business out there? You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't nap. Like, he might be resting up, meditating about the moves he going, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it is he do, let that man live. Colin, what you think?
If you take the emotion, right? If you take the emotion out of it, and you've been watching what Ryback has been saying for the past couple of years, he has some points. Wrestling isn't real. The belt, it's not a real competitive sport. The belts are props. Hell, Bruce Pritchard, who was like the number two guy in charge on WWE right now, he said on his show, the belts are props. It's not a real sport. I love it, but it's something just to magnify the champion, quote unquote, as the top guy or whoever's holding the belt at the time. It's a status. But when the day is done, it's not real. It is scripted. I know he said something a long time ago about how wrestlers should have a union. Yeah, Yeah, wrestlers should have a union. I agree with that.
I agree with that.
They're quote unquote independent contractors. But they, they still will get injured under your watch, like all that stuff that entails. And Vince McMahon doesn't want to, pay them as such and make sure that they're properly taken care of, that they have their benefits, which they should have, because they're breaking their bodies. They're breaking their bodies for you on your watch, for your company. So they should be properly taken care of, not just now when they're making you money, but when they're 60 and 70 and, and they're, when they really need it, as they get up there in age. Ryback did randomly, take shots at Mark Henry. That was uncalled for. But at the same time, Mark Henry, his response is out of control. He kind of gets on Booker T's level when he gets on his little radio show or whatever, and he kind of pops off and says some outlandish ass shit. Mark Henry said that he was a damn good wrestler. No, you weren't. Nah, nigga, you were not good at all. you had the Hall of Fame thing, and he had that excellent, damn near classic retirement speech that he had. Where he faked out John Cena. That was great.
Oh, that was awesome. Yeah,
that was, it was one of the
his best promo ever, actually. That was his best promo.
I think it's right up there. I honestly think it's right up there. That was excellent. But please don't fool yourself. You were not a good wrestler by any stretch of the imagination. You were entertaining because you were physical, but you weren't close to being a good wrestler. So, Mark Henry needs to relax. Ryback, however, is saying a bunch of shit just to, pop, get views and, keep his name out there and shit like that. And he does have to kind of chill out. Well, I mean, that's what this business is these days. You say outlandish shit and you get people to pay attention, and that's how you get more money in your pocket. So I can't knock the hustle. But at the same time, some of the shit he says does go a little too far. Like, he didn't have to bring up Mark Henry's name, so we started all this shit. But it does seem like it's just like another one of those things,
Okay, Quavo.
Yeah, oh my gosh, why do I keep agreeing with this guy today? He's right. And I don't like agreeing with Bottle Rocket over here, but he's right. You have two guys that are shoulda, coulda, wouldas, trying to say who's better at being shoulda, coulda, woulda. Personally, it's a dumb thing for Ryback to go after Mark Henry. One, because they both didn't achieve any great things, but they could have. But at the same time, the game, how it's played. You've been doing this for years, so don't be mad at another guy because they were able to achieve what they achieved and you weren't. You get what I'm saying? It just, for me, it doesn't make sense for Ryback to come at him because, first of all, when did they ever even have like a real feud like that? And then for it to come out of nowhere. Hold on, go ahead.
Sorry, Quavo. They fought at WrestleMania.
Yeah, but that shit wasn't enjoyable, bro. You really enjoyed that match?
Hell no.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I get these guys have potential. They had potential. But on the mic, they weren't great. My moment where I thought Henry could have done a lot more, and he had a lot of them. That's what I'm saying. Like, he had a lot of moments where he could have had a lot more with what they gave him. When he betrayed Shamrock, perfect example. Like, they could have done more with that. But at the same time, you also have all these other stars out there that outshine you. And like I said, you did perfect for what you were doing. And look, the fans show it by the way you get developed. You did a fucking WrestleMania against Ryback. So I can see why would try to do that, but at the same time, Ryback, dude, that's old news. Like, you need to think outside the box. You're still thinking inside the box. But I don't know, man. I personally think it was a pointless thing for them to go back on Twitter, and I was just like, just sounds like waste of time.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, maybe he's trying to get that publicity because word on the street is now that he may or may not be going to AEW. So I guess we'll have to see what happens with that. Colin.
I mean, when the day is done, he's just trying to get publicity for his little podcast, which which sucks compared to ours. But basically, you gotta exactly. He's just gotta try and take any shortcut he can to try and get to our level.
Okay. Jay, Will, final thoughts.
Overall, the shit is dumb. If you're going to do this for promotion to help boost a possible thing that you got going on, I mean, we get it, but like, maybe our perception of it as people on the outside, maybe there's communication. But based off of the things that I saw from Mark Henry, nah. It seemed like fisticuffs might come into play, bro.
Okay. Quavo.
Yeah, that's my guy. Don't mess with the world's strongest man. Leave him alone. Let him be. Let him be, bro. Let him be, bro. Let him be. If you're gonna be Ryback, be Ryback. Let me give me a reason to chant "Feed me more." You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Give me a reason, but don't go against my big guy. Leave my big guy alone.
There you go, baby. There you go. And that's gonna be our show for the week. Unless somebody got something else to say. Anybody got anything else to add before we go?
I mean, Jay,
No?
I'm gonna get in that ass about Sasha Banks at some point. That shit's not over at all by a long shot. That's fucking ridiculous.
Lining that up, baby. Lining that up.
Woo! I can't wait
Lining
for
that
next
up.
week.
Yeah, don't forget next week, y'all. Next week we got our predictions for the Royal Rumble. Like I've been saying all month, it's Royal Rumble season. So get ready, cause it's coming. We got the people participating already. I hope y'all been watching, paying attention, cause I know I have, and I'm looking forward to it. You know what I mean? So that's our show. Y'all have a good time today, fellas.
Yes, sir.
Always.
Yes, sir.
All right. I want y'all to be safe out there. And new show out there. You know what I'm saying? I was listening to this thing the other day. Man, these ladies
Oh
are
snap!
hilarious. They are hilarious. I'm talking about the Facts Podcast, new podcast every Friday morning. You know what I'm saying? They're over there talking about politics, relationships, life. You know what I'm saying? Just all around entertainment. Man. And these ladies are funny as shit. Let me tell you. They had
They're
one
phenomenal.
skit.
I prepped my popcorn. I was listening. I replayed it like 3-4 times, dude. They are amazing to listen to, dude.
Hey, let me tell you, they were trying to give tips on how to keep I guess the spark alive during this pandemic. Yeah, I was like, some of y'all ladies need to be taking notes out there, man. I'm trying to tell you. You know what I'm saying? And as always, don't forget my boys, Tony Cash, Gaming Pad Podcast, every Thursdays at 11. You know, they doing it over there too. You know, so you heard Jay Will getting ready for him. Jay Will they're gonna smash you, Jay, man. I think they're gonna come for Colin. Colin was talking a lot of smack, man. I think they're gonna come in and try to like challenge Colin some 2K something, smash.
ain't nobody worried about Mario and Luigi.
They see, man, you just making it worse, man. Hey, Tony Cash. Hey, that's them, not me, man. All right.
I mean, I think we should do something where it's, you know, if I happen to beat one of them in 2K, there should be some type of like reward. Like I get their show for 30 minutes or a couple of days.
Driving pipe bombs out there.
right. Like pipe bomb section. Like just for like maybe for like a month, I'll have like a little 30-minute section in there on their podcast where I don't know. I could talk about whatever. I'll talk about my day. I'll talk about what I ate for dinner.
Oh man, they're gonna fry you. They're gonna fry you. Well, we want to thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that reminder notification so y'all know when our next show is airing. I am your host, Marshall, Mr. Soul Simmons. Catch me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Once again, this has been a 613 Faye production. Catch us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Once again, as always, on YouTube. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, leave this shit to the professionals. Don't try it at home. Peace.